Hey there, and welcome. We're about to dive into something you literally interact with all day, every day, and you probably don't even think about it. We are talking about solutions. And trust me, they are absolutely everywhere. So to get started, let me ask you a quick question. What in the world do your morning coffee, the air you're breathing right now, and a shiny brass trumpet all have in common? I know they seem totally random, but they all share one big, fundamental secret. And that secret is that they are all, that's right, solutions. And I know that might sound a little weird. How can a solid piece of metal and the air be the same kind of thing as your coffee? Well, stick with me, because by the end of this, you'll see exactly how they all fit together.
Okay, so to really get what makes something a solution, we've got to meet the two key players in the game, the building blocks, if you will, the solute and the solvent.
So first up, here's the official definition. A solution is a homogeneous mixture. Now, homogeneous is just a sciencey way of saying that it's all mixed together so perfectly, so evenly that you can't see the separate parts anymore. It just looks like one single uniform thing. All right, let's meet our first character, the solvent. This is the component that does all the work, It's the dissolver. In any solution, the solvent is usually the thing you have the most of.
And of course, if you have a dissolver, you have to have something that gets dissolved. And that's our second character, the solute. This is the stuff that seems to just vanish right into the solvent.
The easiest way to think about this is just making sugar water, right? The water is the solvent, it's the main ingredient, and it's doing the dissolving. And that spoonful of sugar you stir in, that's the solute. It's the smaller part that gets dissolved. See? Simple. But that brings up a really good question. Can you just keep adding sugar forever? I mean, if you've ever tried to sweeten a cold glass of iced tea, you know the answer is no, there's a limit. And that brings us to this idea of the saturation point. It really happens in 3 stages. First, a solution is unsaturated. That means there's still room. You can dissolve more stuff in it. Then you hit the saturated point. It's full. The solvent can't take any more, and any extra solute you add just falls to the bottom. But then there's this really cool special case called supersaturated. This is where you can actually trick the solvent, usually by heating it up, to hold way more solute than it's supposed to. I really love this analogy. A supersaturated solution is super unstable. It's just waiting for an excuse. If you add just one tiny seed crystal, that little push, the whole thing can come crashing down, with all that extra solute instantly crystallizing right before your eyes. It's amazing to see. All right, so we've been talking a lot about sugar and water. It's so easy to get stuck thinking that all solutions have to be a solid dissolving in a liquid. But we are about to completely shatter that idea. I mean, this is what we all think, isn't it? A solution, it's a liquid. It's gotta be.
Nope, not even close. Solutions can actually exist in any state of matter, gas, liquid, or even solid.
And when you break it down, it's pretty wild. The very air we're breathing right now is a solution of different gases, mostly nitrogen and oxygen. The fizz in your soda, that's a solution of carbon dioxide gas dissolved in liquid. And maybe the most surprising of all, solid solutions. Things like steel or brass are actually solutions where one solid metal is perfectly dissolved in another. So what's the big deal? Well, this isn't just some random chemistry trivia. Understanding solutions is actually key to understanding, pretty much everything, from how our own bodies work to the technology that powers our world.
I mean, just look at how common they are. Your blood plasma? It's a super complex solution carrying all the nutrients your body needs. The metal alloys that make our buildings and planes strong? Solid solutions. The ocean itself? A massive solution. Even the vinegar in your kitchen cabinet? That's a solution too. They are literally everywhere.
And just to give you a sense of the sheer scale of this, think about this number, 71%. That's the percentage of our planet's surface that's covered by the single largest solution on Earth, the oceans. It's just a gigantic solution of salts and minerals dissolved in water. So really, the big takeaway here is that we're basically living in a universe made of solutions. They make up the air we breathe, the oceans we swim in, and even the materials we use to build our modern world. It's just one of the most basic ways that matter gets organized. So I'll just leave you with this one thought. Now that you're in on the secret, start looking around your own world. what other things that you see every day are actually solutions hiding in plain sight? I think you'll be pretty surprised at what you start to notice.